Good day, everyone. I figured I'd begin with the classic beginner's math question. After learning about adding several different numbers together to find the sum, one of the things we like to throw at people to get them to think more abstractly about mathematics is to give them the sum of a bunch of numbers and then have them try to figure out what those numbers are using a bit of information about them. Usually we start with 3, but I decided to go with 4 numbers this time. Our question is, Alice is 2 years younger than Bill. Charlie is 4 years older than Daniel. Daniel is 3 years older than Alice. If the sum of their ages is 24, how old is Alice? There are several ways to go about figuring out the answer. One of the first ways that comes to most people's minds is to use algebra and assign each age a letter, which is why the names conveniently start with the letters A, B, C, and D. Alice is 2 years younger than Bill, gives us A equals B minus 2. Charlie is 4 years older than Daniel, gives us C equals D plus 4. Daniel is 3 years older than Alice, gives us D equals A plus 4. And finally, the sum of their ages being 24 gives us A plus B plus C plus D equals 24. Then we can go through and substitute. Since we have C equals D plus 4, we can swap out C from the sum and replace it with D plus 4. Then we collect common terms by grouping the two D's together and simplify by subtracting 4 from both sides. Now our letters are on one side and the total we're looking for is now 20. We've dealt with one of the pieces of information we're given and we can now move on. Another piece of information we have is that Daniel is 3 years older than Alice, or D equals A plus 3. So let's get rid of the D by putting in A plus 3. We have 2 D's, so we'll put brackets around the A plus 3 with the 2 next to it to specify that we're multiplying by 2 first. So let's do that and put 2A plus 6 there. Then we'll simplify the equation again by gathering our A's together and subtracting 6 from both sides so that all the numbers are on one side again. And now we're down to 3A plus B equals 14. The last bit of information we have is that Alice is 2 years younger than Bill, which I've written as A equals B minus 2. We could replace A in our equation with B minus 2, or we can rewrite this equation so that B equals something in terms of A. The algebra way of doing this is to add 2 to both sides so that the minus 2 becomes a plus 2 on the other side of the equation. And then if you want to, you can flip the equation around. It was probably obvious that we could have just written B equals A plus 2 to begin with, based off the sentence. Anyway, we just follow the same steps we did previously of replacing B with A plus 2, then subtracting 2 from both sides to move the numbers to one side and our unknown on the other. And we're left with 4A on one side and 12 on the other. From here it's a straightforward matter of dividing by 4. And we have Alice is 3 years old. If you've managed to follow along, that's cool, but if you're seeing this for the first time in years because you have to teach someone else, please don't start with this approach. A much more kid-friendly way of solving this question is to use number lines. Except in this case, we don't know what the numbers are yet. What we do know, though, is that the one on the right is one more than the one on the left. So if we know that Alice is 2 years younger than Bill, we know that Alice is in one circle and Bill is not in the one to the right, but the one just to the right of that, which is 2 more. Then we can't put Charlie or Daniel on the line yet because we don't know where to place them. Using the statement Daniel is 3 years older than Alice, we figure out that we can place a D for Daniel just to the right of the B, because 3 is 1 more than 2. Now we can go back to the previous statement and place a C for Charlie in the spot 4 more than D. After that, we can split this off into 4 separate number lines. I've color-coded them to make it easier to follow along. We're not sure how many spots we need in one direction, so I've kind of grayed those out. And now we have our last bit of information. They need to add up to 24, which I'm opting to represent with 2 blocks of 10 circles and 1 block of 4. And now we just start filling in the circles. 1 red, 3 blue, 8 magenta, and 4 yellow. This leaves us with 8 remaining in 2 blocks of 4, almost like I planned to leave a hint here. We have 4 different number lines going, so let's give them each 2. And now we can put numbers on our number lines, or just say that Alice is 3 because of the color coding. There are now 3 circles filled in.